And hello and welcome everyone to the comic multiverse where the worlds of nerd meet. It's Saturday night, Matt. It's you and me. We're back again with all of our friends here. We got comic book news, comic book reviews. We got all the things that a growing boy could need, I guess. I don't know. I fucking gave up on that one halfway through. If
Yeah. We were planning on just inadvertently canceling the show,
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
just because that's the thing you do nowadays.
Oh my God, could I actually cancel this show and take a tax write-off? And if so, how much?
An $80 million tax write-off.
Like, look, I'm not gonna do it. I just want to know if I cancel it, how much money could I get? I'm just saying. This is just a question, I'm just asking questions out here in the world. Yeah, don't worry, everyone. We're definitely going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about everything. Sorry about the hat. I've got a bad case of bad hair. I forgot we were even on tonight, so I didn't comb anything. It happens.
It
How
happens.
how you been, Matt? How have been things?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just been out working hard, working on the grind, as
Mm,
the kids say these days.
yes,
Um,
rise and grind.
yeah. Never stop the grind, no matter what.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I've had a pretty good week. I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yes, I
Um,
saw.
I bought number three, and then I saw number one was on sale, so I'm like, oh, I'll just grab that. And I've started number one before I moved to number three, and I'm planning on getting number two, but getting a physical copy of number two is next to impossible.
Yes, it's one of those really rare ones for some reason. I know the people who are into Xenoblade are into it a whole lot.
Yeah, like every copy I've seen through like Amazon or like private sellers is sort of like $200 for a copy of this game, and yeah, it's just I hate that Nintendo do that where they only make
Yeah,
a limited copy
they're so
of
weird.
specific video games.
They're so goddamn weird about it. Now, again, hey, I am not advocating for emulation. I'm just saying, sometimes they do a better job keeping these around than than Nintendo themselves do.
And sometimes the performance is better.
And sometimes it's a little better, but I'm not saying anything about anything. Look, I can speak with, real authority when my Ein Odin finally shows up. Yes, that was my birthday gift to myself this year. I took the dive, and where it's like, okay, you, what is it, kind of reputable Chinese company, let's do this.
Nice.
Whenever you order anything from China, it's like, okay, so it's going to be like 4 months until it gets here, if it
Yeah,
does.
yeah. Well, they have to like put in all the listening devices and
Well, of course, yeah.
microwave transmitters and
Naturally,
all that sort
naturally.
of stuff. Yeah.
Once I play it for a little bit, I will be the Manchurian candidate.
Yeah, you'll just stand up one day and decide you want to go like
Uh,
attack the capital or something. I don't know.
Joke's on you, Chinese government. I'm too unfit to be able to do any of the tasks you ask of me. I won't be making it far at all. Take that. I was going to try to say whatever their president was, but I couldn't remember. Xiao Xingping, that's his name, right?
Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh. Everyone makes fun of him because apparently he looks like Winnie the Pooh, and so he has outlawed Winnie the Pooh from the entire country. That is a special level of dictator pity or pettiness where it's just like, fuck you for saying I look like this fictional character. I'm just saying if I become a dictator of a country, no one is allowed to, recreate pictures of Bobby Hill ever again. Never again. Not on my watch. That wasn't the only game you played this week. You got that new Digimon Survive game too, you were saying on
Yeah,
Twitter.
I haven't actually had a chance to play it yet. But I'm planning on playing it maybe a little bit tonight. I know it's a lot different than what I think a lot of people thought it was going to be. It's kind of like visual novel-ish.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
light novel, yeah.
yeah.
I wanted to know how much, because I've always liked Digimon. I've always had a soft place in my heart for it, and I think it's cool that they're rolling the dice on more interesting sorts of games. Now the card game is back. They
Mm-hmm.
have a new version of like the Digivice thing you have where
Yep.
you can put little cards in it and like raise them like Tamagotchis. I always respect Digimon for existing. I hear even that new show they have, Ghost Game, is pretty good.
Oh, really? The last thing because I remember there was a while there where like it felt like Digimon just kind of went away.
It did.
But yeah, I remember the last thing I watched of Digimon, they released like a bunch of really good movies.
Yes,
Like,
the Try movies where
yeah,
they go
yeah,
back to the original characters.
yeah. They were really well done, really well produced, bit more of a mature story, and I really
There,
like them. And yeah, I'm looking forward to playing the new game.
they did those, then they like remade the first season
Hmm. Hmm.
from like the ground up, and I think that got a dub actually, so that's actually coming out
Yeah,
fairly soon in dub form.
yeah.
I might have to check that one out for what it's worth. But yeah, Ghost Game I hear is good because apparently it goes more to like the Digimon season 3 where it's kind of like a weird fucked up horror thing in a weird
Ooh,
way.
interesting.
Like how Tamers was, where it's like, wow, Tamers gets really dark and psychological at some point, and then you see the director's other work, and they're like, oh, well, we thought this would be the last time we'd ever be allowed to make one, so we just went for broke and just did something weird.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. But yes, everyone, believe it or not, we are not a Digimon podcast. We are a comic book podcast.
We are.
Though maybe next time we do Retro Hero, if people are interested enough, we'll do an anime arc. We'll do like a childhood anime arc.
I'm sure people would love to see us go through like animes we watched as kids.
I'm sure they would. Okay, we'd have to do Digimon. We'd have to do like Metabots, because no one remembers Metabots, and I think Metabots was actually dope.
If it's going to be ones that we watched as kids, there's going to probably be a lot of like fucked up 90s ones in there.
Yes.
Like Bubblegum Crisis and AD Police and
Yeah.
shit like that. Ninja Scroll.
Hey, there you oh fuck yeah, Ninja Scroll, which had a show. I have never seen the show. I have watched the movie way too many times.
Yeah. I think everyone's seen the movie. It's like my first anime.
It really is, and it's like, yeah, that explains a whole lot of our generation, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not only did I see Ninja Scroll when I was way too young to see it, I saw it on television, because on Teletoon here in Canada, they would play like the more fucked up anime movies like late at night on Fridays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had that here as well.
Yeah, so that's where I saw like Ninja Scroll and the original Ghost in the Shell and like New Dominion Tank Police.
Yeah, I remember I saw what was it? Wicked City on it. That's one everyone remembers, with the weird like spider lady prostitute.
Yep. Great, now I can't stop singing the Tank Police. Tank Police, we give it our best shot. Tank Police. They were not screwing around with that theme, were they? Someone says, do Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, but what episode of Dragon Ball Z? Because episodically the show is kind of lame.
All of them.
Like, we remember the great moments and the great sagas as they connect, but it's like, what one episode can you... You know what we would have to? The one where Piccolo and Goku learn to drive. That's the one.
Yeah.
Episodic one-and-done story.
Yeah, the one where, like, Goku has to, like, try and get a job.
Yes, those are the ones. Those are like the ones that have no fighting, have no connection to anything else. The ones that I hated as a kid, but I love now as an adult. Because I relate to it now, and I find the humor of these crazy anime heroes having to do regular, normal people shit. All right, but yes, believe it or not, everyone, we are a comic book show, and we have comic book and superhero news for you.
We do.
Starting off this week with the big piece of news that ended up kicking off a whole domino effect of other pieces of news that make us question where DC Comics and Warner Brothers is going to be in the next few years, and that is, of course, Batgirl was shelved to, much dismay by the new Warner Brothers Discovery regime and the new president, David Zaslav, a man who I don't think any of us knew his fucking name last week, but now everyone knows it, for better or worse.
Yeah, this kind of came out... It literally came out of nowhere, because not even, like, the cast, or even Walter Hamada, the guy Zaslav is replacing, who's still technically in charge, didn't even know it was happening.
Yep, didn't tell them jack shit, just announced on a whim, apropos of nothing. Yeah, we're canceling this $90 million movie. Oh, it was done, basically? Yeah, well, we don't care. We're going to shelve it and take the tax write-off, which, for those who don't know about entertainment tax law, taking the tax write-off on a movie like that means that they can never release it. Yep. Not streaming, they can't even sell it to another studio. It just rots in their vault.
Yeah, they delete it, all that hard work and everything, unless someone, of course, goes rogue and leaks it.
Which would be a lot of people's hope. I mean, hey, let us never forget that the only reason you got Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool at all was because some person, leaked the sizzle reel.
Yep.
Which, the longer that goes on, the more it might actually have been Ryan Reynolds himself, actually.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was.
Because it's like, they can't hurt me. I'm Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
I am the Reynolds. I am too powerful. Come crash against me like the rocks of eternity and be broken against the mighty Reynolds. But yeah, really fucking sad for all these people. You know, they kept giving a bunch of reasons as to why they did it. Oh, it was a tax write-off. It was a money thing. Oh, it tested badly. Oh, we won't release anything I have any, that we don't have faith in, as the new regime of Warner Brothers discovered. I'm like, okay, you're giving lots of answers, which makes me think that you did it for a super petty reason, and that is you just didn't want to release anything that the regime before you did, which happens all the time when company acquisitions happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And also I keep seeing people saying they weren't releasing it because it was like unreleasable, like it was terrible. Those rumors started with one like news article from like a really like dodgy source, but people just ran with it. And
Of
like
course.
whenever you'd ask what else did they say, like why is it unreleasable, why is it irredeemable, no, you couldn't get an answer.
Let us also not forget that this is Warner Brothers, who has put out a lot of what I would call unreleasable shit. So
Yeah.
even if let's say hypothetically that they were correct and the movie was somehow bad or unreleasable, I mean, fuck, I've seen the other shit you've put out.
Yeah.
Couldn't be worse. And I mean, shit, people were excited about this one for a number of reasons. Young up and coming actress with a lot of upside that people were really excited about lead a film.
Yep.
2 ethnically diverse directors who had just come off a massive success because of their work on Miss Marvel.
Yep.
Brendan Fraser as the villain, which had actually been getting a lot of buzz. Apparently his version of Firefly was great.
Yep.
And also, hey, the first ever out trans character in a DC property.
Yeah. That's something I didn't actually know until I saw recently they were posting. The person was actually posting about the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't see that, but yeah, that was pretty cool. And then of course Michael Keaton's Batman.
And Michael Keaton back as Batman, which is one of those things. It's so we'll get to the Michael Keaton story later, but yeah, you had fucking Michael Keaton back in a Batman suit a whole long time before you were ever going to get it in that Flashpoint movie that you still may or may not end up releasing, and they thought to just kill it dead.
Yeah, insane.
Yeah. Also, the movie was supposed to be going to streaming anyway. It was made for the sole purpose of going to streaming. So, like, what money were you going to be losing on this by putting out more content? I will freely admit, I don't understand how streaming services make their money, but it seems like you could have made some money versus the maybe no money or just the tax money.
Yeah, I think that, like, their main motive behind it is that, like, a movie going direct to streaming shouldn't cost 90, maybe $100 million. Like yes. I imagine they've seen like what's happening with Netflix, where like that recent movie they did, The Gray Man, it cost over $200 million, and it spent its time at number 1 for only 8 days. Wow. So they spent over $200 million to spend 8 days at number 1. Like, Is that worth it?
Quintessential Netflix to have something forgotten the next day after they promote it.
Yeah.
Also, hey, Collie Frederick helping us out twice in the chat there. You guys see the set photos that got out afterwards? Yes, and they made me more sad about what we lost.
Yeah.
Collie Frederick again saying, don't forget J.K. Simmons. Yeah, and they brought fucking J.K. Simmons back for it, too.
Yeah.
And we lost that. Jesus Christ.
Insane.
Of course, it wasn't the only thing that we shelved. It was part of a whole bigger belt-tightening agenda that Zaslav and the new regime at Warner's Discovery are trying to pull off. They apparently also shelved that Scoob sequel, Haunted Holiday, which was at least 90% done, according to the director, who also didn't know when they were told.
Yeah, I don't think anyone knew that any of this stuff was happening. And yeah, it's just strange because Zaslav, he also said that like they're committed to like doing more to streaming and everything, and I'm like, well, you just canceled 2 fucking big films.
Everything Zaslav said, because this happened and there was a bunch of statements, then there was an investor call. Everything this man said sounded completely contradictory. Like, oh, we're focusing on our biggest brands moving forward. But you canceled a Bat-centric thing.
Yeah,
and
that's what's really fucking crazy about this. This is something related to fucking Batman. I mean,
yes, and
I could see it go 2 ways. And first, it's like fucking insane that they cancel something Bat-related because it's fucking Warner Brothers and DC. They fucking love that. Yes. But then on the other hand, it's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Are they going to start investing in other characters now and not rely on the Bat brand?
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute to put a pin in that. 'Cause that's definitely something to come back. So yeah, you cancel two big brand things, then you're like, oh, it's time for us to tighten our belt at the company now. You know, we need to trim the fat, as it was over here. Time to get rid of, you know, some lame ducks. But again, these were done. These could only be profit for you. And then he also turns around and says, we're going to spend more money than ever before now. We're going to spend more money than the people before us. And I'm like, well, that makes no sense. How do you trim the fat and spend more money?
Yeah, it's strange. I mean, yeah, I don't get it. Maybe his reasoning is like, well, the money we spent on like Batgirl, $90 million, we could use that to make 3 films, you know, 3 $30 million films. That's more content, more, you know.
Again, it all seems very fucking weird. It seems like I think this dude just had a personal axe to grind. We don't believe in the project. No, I don't think you believed in a female-led movie is what it sounded like.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, if you track down Zaslav's quotes, which were very easy to find now because he's under a fucking microscope now, the general consensus is the man does not care much for women. In fact, as part of that big investors meeting, they came up with a bunch of slides that people saw where they were talking about the integration for, HBO Max and Discovery Plus, the company that he came from originally. And was there some like shockingly disparaging things about women, being like, oh, women don't like scripted content. You know, they like lean back content. You know, they like genre stuff, you know, stuff they don't have to pay attention to because they're too busy making dinner and doing TikTok in their hair.
Those slides that I kept seeing were just they were so hilariously like simple, and it's like there's that one where it's like content goes to streaming, like so that's how it works. Okay.
You see, I'm stupid and didn't know that. It's also not just that he shelved 2 movies that were done, but apparently also took a bunch of movies off HBO Max, a bunch of their original stuff, like An American Pickle and a bunch of other stuff.
Yep.
Which seems like a fucked up way to run a business. You know, I bought home box office, but I want there to be less box office than ever.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe his reasoning for that is maybe they could take them and like sell them to like
or make
other places or something, and then that way, because they were all like movies that had some type of star power. Like you mentioned, American Pickle, that's a Seth Rogen film. People are gonna want to see that, and people have seen it, you know.
Yes, it's good. I'd say it's probably one of Seth Rogen's best things in years. Track that one down, everyone. I don't know if you can buy it on DVD, and you certainly can't get it on the app anymore, but, you know, find ways, matey, is all I'm saying. But yeah, that's such a bummer. Like, everything about that is so weird. He also talked about, like, you know, the brands we're going to be loyal to moving forward. We have a 10-year plan for DC and DC Comics. Also, he called them DC Studios, even though they've never done that before.
I mean, maybe that's what they're doing now?
Maybe, I don't know. He said he had a 10-year plan that we want to find our own Feige. It's like, well, do you have a Feige? Do you have people in mind? Do you know what your 10-year plan is going to look like? No, but we have words for it, though.
Yeah, we're announcing that we're going to have an announcement that we're going to have a plan.
Yes, that is absolutely what it is. KT, he sounds like a man I don't want having my money. Yeah, imagine the people who are working for him now.
Yeah, well, not a lot of people are, because didn't he, like, can, like, 75% of fucking HBO Max or something?
Yes, all of the script is 70% of the scripted department is gone. They're going to be cutting back on their animation department, which fuck me. I rely
was
on
already kind of cut back on already.
Yeah, already, because it doesn't matter if you're AT&T or if you're Discovery or who was ever there before. Apparently, no one respects animation as an art form, and fuck me, Harley and Young Justice were keeping me fed and keeping my lights on.
Yeah, fuck.
If you lose Cape Crusader in that Superman show, I am going to plots. I might need to find another job.
It's really, again, I'm gonna bring it back to anime. Like, it's kind of insane that they would think that when you see things like Crunchyroll, Funimation doing so much fucking business because of the content they deliver, and that's all animation, it's all anime, and all what they would probably consider just cartoons, quote unquote.
Yes.
And that, you know, manga is super popular now. Like, how do these white old men not see this?
Also too, hey, animation, the thing that held up these streaming services during the pandemic when they couldn't have real actors stand next to each other
Yeah.
for fear of getting sick and dying, animation literally held up the whole thing. But it's like, Matt, fuck them.
Also, like, it's Warner Brothers. Like they're like origins start
Some of the
in
best
animation. It's
I know.
insane.
Looney Tunes. Now here's the thing. He did say Looney Tunes was like one of their major brands, but then he also said shit that made no sense, like Friends and Sex in the City and The Big Bang Theory are your big brands. And I'm like, those shows are done. Some of them have been done for years.
Yeah.
How much more are you going to wring from shows that are already done? I noticed you didn't have anything new on here. Also, hey, when they talked about the DC brands they wanted to focus on, it was Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, but not the new logos we've been dealing with, the old logos.
Yeah. Well, I think they were just like, whoever fucking made the graphic, Superman logo, first one ever seen,
I just think it's funny where it's like, wow, you took 10 whole seconds to work on this.
Yeah.
They also redoubled how much they think Harry Potter and Game of Thrones are going to be big new brands moving into the future. And I'm like, ha ha ha, that's so cute.
I can see Game of Thrones being we've got that new show coming out, which actually looks pretty decent.
I truly wonder how that one is going to be. Yeah. I truly wonder if anyone is going to be interested. Because as we've said time and time again on this very show, one bad finale and one book never coming out basically nuked the entire Game of Thrones fandom. I don't see merch. I don't see cosplayers. I don't see anyone.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out very soon.
I guess we will. And as far as Harry Potter goes, it's like, oh man, you poor sons of bitches, you signed a 10-year deal with this woman who is desperately trying to make herself the new Orson Scott Card, and the movies are getting worse.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we're going to be seeing any more Fantastic Beasts films.
No, well, apparently they still have two. They have two that still need to be done.
Well, they say that, but then like the last one like bombed hard, just because no one was fucking interested in the story.
No, they're probably going to fuse those last two movies together as some sort of mercy killing.
Yeah.
I also find it hilarious that frickin' Ezra the Criminal Miller is in both of those, is in that and in the DC franchises as well.
Yeah, the one that gets to stay around.
Yes, because again, that as the producer of Flashpoint says, all is well in Flashland.
Don't look over here.
Yeah, please pay no attention.
Here.
To the criminal behind the curtain who is apparently driving across America with a loaded gun and body armor, avoiding questioning from the police. Everything is fine. There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Yeah. How the fuck are they going to even release that?
Promote that movie? I know, right?
And here we have Ezra Miller calling in from his sex island.
From prison. From their cult HQ in Iceland, which is the new thing today, that apparently they were running a cult commune. I'm like, why at DC Warner Brothers do you keep hiring people with cults? Like, it's weird that it keeps happening.
Mm-hmm.
Just a fucked situation. And obviously, again, much like Rowling, they have to ride or die with this terrible decision they've made because they pumped $300 million into Flashpoint that we know about, which means they've certainly sunk more into it.
Absolutely more. Even more, yeah.
They needed to set up their new status quo. They needed to introduce Michael Keaton, which actually, leads us to our next story there. Apparently, Ben Affleck will be replacing Michael Keaton in the cameo role he was supposed to have for Aquaman 2 because test audiences had no idea that Michael Keaton had come back because that's a Flashpoint thing, and they can't promote Flashpoint outside the one teaser they had.
Yeah, and not only that, I think what we're going to see, because Flash was meant to come out before Aquaman?
Yes, it was supposed to be out like this year, I think.
Yeah, so I reckon we're going to see some sort of switch where Aquaman comes out first, which is why they need to replace, Keaton. It'll be the exact same role, but just like, this is set earlier, like before Flashpoint, so we can't have Keaton in it, so we need like the current quote-unquote Batman.
Yeah. Fuck. Again, just such a fucked up situation. And again, you could have introduced Keaton Batman again in this Batgirl movie, but you're not gonna now.
Yeah.
Which, Jesus fucking Christ, it definitely seems like a lot of shit is changing all over the place. Even on the CW level, this will be the last season of The Flash, which essentially means this is the end of the Arrowverse as we know it. I sincerely doubt Stargirl is getting another season after this one now, given what this guy seems to think about female-led stuff. I fucking hope we get more Superman and Lois, but geez.
I know we're getting a third season because they've just started writing it all out and everything.
Right. Well, that's good, but also at the same time, I am afraid where it's like this dude canned a finished Bat movie, which means he's capable of anything.
Yeah. I guess we'll find out. I do find it funny though that the Flash TV show is finishing, and like the Flash movie is coming out when they were both announced at the exact same time.
Yeah, Jesus Christ! You got 9 seasons of television in before you got to do one movie.
Yeah.
That is pathetic. That is, you got to take your ball and go home and think about what you did.
Yeah.
What a fucked situation. But we have a 10-year plan, guys. We're totally going to be keeping up with Marvel. Yeah, you know who else said they had a 10-year plan? The last 4, regimes of this company. Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds was supposed to be part of a 10-year plan.
They have a 10-year plan until sometime in that 10 years, they decide they're going to sell WB again to Walmart or whoever the
Amazon.
fuck. Yeah, fucking whoever.
Now, here's an interesting theory that I heard, and again, this is maybe a little conspiratorial, maybe a little tinfoil hat, but tell me what you think. The rumor is that this Zaslav guy is like a super right-winger and a big Trump supporter, and part of buying Warner Brothers is he also got to buy CNN, which was a company that he was actually a president of back in 2017, and a lot of people are thinking, oh, fuck me, is the reason this guy is making such boneheaded decisions with entertainment and the superheroes and everything is because he never wanted the entertainment arm of Warner Brothers. He just wanted CNN.
Ooh, that's interesting. I mean, maybe I know there is reports that like when he came on, he fired Ann Sarnoff, who was like the highest ranking woman in Hollywood. Fired her and replaced her with a white guy.
He fired everyone on the boards, which is surprising because, as from what I understand, the Warner Brothers board of directors was one of the more diverse in Hollywood, as diverse as it gets. And he fired them all and replaced him with his old white guy golfing buddies. And it's like, ooh boy, that's bad optics.
Yeah, but also like as you said, like maybe it is related to the CNN thing, but also there's like hint that like everything he's doing, it seems like it's like some sort of sabotage, like he's just doing it to like maybe bring its value down or something.
Yes, in fact, stock prices were down $15 to $16 in just 2 days. Again, to make a Succession reference, which is also an HBO show, maybe this is one of those toxic bear hug situations that corporate raiders do.
Yeah, because that's exactly. Like everything he's doing is exactly like what a corporate raider would do, like just tank the stock and cancel all these movies that are finished, all these hyped up movies that are coming out, and make everything seem like it's going to be killed off or something,
Make it and create a lot of chaos in the market, make it look like you're stupid and incompetent, and then through back channels start selling off everything.
Yeah. Maybe one of his friends will come along and be like, I'll buy that.
Yes, I'll buy DC Comics publishing.
Yeah, that's like another thing. That could even sell like off just DC itself.
Yeah, because they didn't mention the comics arm because, they probably did. Again, this man made his fucking fortune in goddamn reality shows. He's the one who made Toddlers and Tiaras, Honey Boo Boo, Mama June, Property Brothers, 90 Day Fiancé, the big success that they are. He probably doesn't even know he bought a fucking comic company as well.
Someone's just telling him now, like, wait, I own comic books?
You do? You mean I just don't own the superhero IPs? Yeah. Because, say what you want about AT&T as masters and all the fuck-ups that they did, at least they knew that the comic company existed enough to be like, hey, you gotta call this next event 5G.
Yeah.
Because we're a cell phone company.
Yeah.
You gotta wonder what's this gonna be about? When are we going to hear, the ripple effects as they reach comics? Because with AT&T, a lot of fucking people got fired.
Mm-hmm.
like people who had worked there at the company for years, who were very important to the overall running day-to-day operations, they just got rid of. Hey, it was also around the time Didio left as well, too.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's still kind of open-ended. Was he, fired, or did he just leave, or what was that about?
Yeah. I guess only time will tell. I do hope nothing does bad happen to DC Comics, especially like given everything we've seen of the guy and how rather right wing he is.
The stuff he likes and the stuff he doesn't like. Yeah,
especially like considering how DC Comics right now is probably the most diverse it's ever been.
It is. It really is, isn't it? You got the Pride specials, which have been great. Again, that was ironically where they reintroduced Batgirl's trans roommate and gave her like a super moniker and everything. And I'm like, shit, yeah, it would be sad to see them backstep on all that good work they've done. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the state of Warner Brothers right now. We had said this when they had got bought the first time, where it's like, well, we won't know what this means for a while. Well, we kind of know what it means now.
Yeah.
And it's a little chaotic and a little not good and a little we don't know.
Yeah, it also explains why we never heard anything from San Diego Comic-Con.
Right, that's when we should have known something was up, where it's like, they got a bunch of shit that's done. Why are they doing this now?
Yeah.
Why did they bring only two things? Oh, because these are the closest things to being done. And, one has The Rock in it, which you want to keep happy and everything.
Yeah, I saw someone say that, like, what did they say? They said something like it's all going to, like, kind of revolve around The Rock now. Like, which kind of fucking makes sense, That's something that he probably would put in his fucking contracts.
Yeah, which is like, yeah, all right, that's fine enough as it is. The Rock is definitely he's like the biggest star in the world. But also, The Rock don't need nobody. The Rock writes his own checks. If he decides he wants to be president next year, which he's talked about, or if Paramount offers him like $1 billion and a private island to go do more Fast and the Furious, he'll go do that.
Yeah, it's fucked.
I wouldn't build anything around The Rock for just that reason, because The Rock doesn't need anybody.
Well, I wouldn't build anything around The Rock anyway, just because he never plays, like, you never see, like, the character he's playing, you just see the fucking Rock. I see Black Adam, I don't see Black Adam, I just see The Rock.
Yeah. That's why I actually like Black Adam in the comics this week, because he was actually acting like Black Adam again.
He was, yeah.
He was actually being kind of like a morally gray, morally dubious prick, finally. That was good. We'll talk about that when we talk about comics this week. But yeah, so everything is up in the air. We don't know if Doom Patrol is safe, if Harley Quinn is safe, if any of the stuff we actually like is safe. James Gunn said that Peacemaker Season 2 is safe, and I would have to imagine if anyone would have to get like an ironclad contract written out, it would be James Gunn, a man who has been fucked over by studio politics once before.
Yeah.
A man who says, like, look, I'll do it, but you need to sign a piece of paper that says it doesn't matter what happens to you, my thing comes out when it's supposed to.
Yep.
Also, too, like, I think Peacemaker had, like, one of the highest, digital streaming releases of all time.
Yeah,
not just
it was really
company,
popular.
But it was very popular, so they probably want to keep him happy and keep him sweet. Also, if they're serious about this 10-year plan, and if Gunn is serious about being done at Marvel after frickin' Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe they want to keep him nice and close and be like, well, what if we give you $1 billion to run ours? I know you said you didn't want the Feige position, but what if we just give you so much money you can't say no?
Yeah, well, they hit the Peacemaker show, and there was talks of like a Waller show or something developing in her. So yeah, he's definitely sticking around.
Yeah, absolutely. What were some other ones there? Oh, here's one that pissed me off, and they just mentioned this. What is it in that conference? Apparently, they canceled Hacks, which pisses me off. Just apropos of nothing, like, oh yeah, and we're canceling Hacks. Fuck you, Joel. We know you like that show. We're leaving it on a cliffhanger, so you'll never know, what happens to these characters after this.
No. God
damn it. Functorial helping us out. We can all agree that the hierarchy of power in the DC universe did change. Yeah, I guess it did, didn't it?
yeah. I guess The Rock didn't specify how it was going to. So he's technically right.
And The Rock was also saying, like, the hierarchy of power in the Taliban just changed, like, minutes before they announced that they killed another Taliban leader. What I'm saying is The Rock is really plugged in and gets briefs already like the president. He's more informed than most people, The Rock. The Rock needs to stay up to date on everything. He opens his mind to the universe and information just, funnels in there. God damn it. Yeah, I guess he wasn't lying. The hierarchy of power did change. Fuck.
Nah.
Another project we know is certainly safe is our next story, because Lady Gaga 100% confirmed that Joker 2 musical as well too is going to be coming out and she's going to be in it.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't. See, I don't give a fuck, but also I totally give a fuck because I cannot wait to see how the edgy Joker bros and the pretentious film snobs are all going to have to pretend now that they like musical theater.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite genres, so I really cannot wait to see, them all contorting themselves. No, we love musicals. No, we think they're great. It's wonderful. Well, that they're just dying on the inside.
Yeah.
Also, too, of all the projects that made it through this one, I guess Joker made $1 billion, so
Didn't it win an Oscar as well?
I guess it did, didn't it?
Yeah.
It did win some awards, but whatever. It's gonna be interesting. It might not be good, but it's gonna be interesting, and at least this one is taking more creative swings than the first Joker is by being a goddamn musical. It almost feels like a movie made on a dare, where like Joaquin Phoenix is like, I'll only come back if it's a musical. Yeah, that'll teach him. Yeah, they're never gonna make that.
some insane demands and stuff, and they just greenlit them all, and it's like, holy fuck.
God damn. Yeah, I'll only do it if it's a musical and only if Lady Gaga acts opposite me. We can make that happen.
And I only want the brown Skittles.
Yeah, exactly. We can only have brown Skittles on set, and you gotta train a nurse monkey to help me out. Yeah, we'll do all those things. What? Are you serious? I could have had anything I wanted. Why didn't I wish for more? I'll do it, but you gotta stop world hunger. God damn it, if I knew I could have wished for anything. But yeah, there's that movie coming out. It's a real thing. It's going to be a trip one way or another. I don't think it's going to be good, but I definitely think it's going to be more interesting than the first one.
If anything, we'll get more Joker memes, more funny gamer Joker memes.
Yeah, which is really what it's all about, honestly. Those memes will live anything.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. I'm all about it, That's what I'm about. Now moving on from there, some Superman news, Matt, which you might actually know a little bit more about more about this than I did. The death of Superman had its anniversary very soon. In fact, it kind of coincided with the death of the Justice League, because it was Justice League 85, like it was Superman 85. Well, to celebrate it even further, there's going to be 4 brand new stories from the original creative team.
Yeah, expanding on the death of Superman and stuff that happened before and after.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you excited for that? I know you'll probably cover it because you're a Superman completionist.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what they're going to be doing with these characters and who exactly they're going to be bringing back in these books.
Yeah. It's kind of funny too to see both Marvel and DC at the same time returning to Wells. For Marvel, it's like, oh, we're going back to Kraven's Last Hunt.
Yeah.
And for them, it's like, oh yeah, we're going back to Death of Superman, because why not?
Yeah.
Everything that's old is new again and always will be.
Yep.
All right, that sounds good. I can't wait to hear what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, that's coming out quite soon, I think.
Yeah, fair. They announced it very impromptu.
Mm-hmm.
Another bit of new stuff coming down the pipeline. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur are going to be getting a brand new comic ahead of their cartoon debut.
Yeah, I see. Of course they are.
It's going to be written by Jordan Efuko, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and Elba Glez is going to be doing the art for that one. Again, I never read Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, but every comic book store owner I know talked about it at length about how that was the most popular comic with little kids.
Mm-hmm.
As it should, because it's about a fucking dinosaur that fights crime. That's a winning combination.
Exactly.
Again, that's one of those books that should always be in print for little kids. And did you see the little clip they show of the cartoon itself?
I did. It looks fun.
It looks cute. And I hope that's a good indication of where Marvel is going with its animation. Obviously, we have high hopes for the zombie show they're doing and more What If that they're going to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's good. I hope Marvel really pours more money and time into animation, because we know Warner Brothers isn't going to be.
Yep.
So, gotta get our fix somewhere. Another new book we got coming down the pipeline, Dear Detective, which is going to be a special new Black Label one-shot from Lee Bermejo that looks like every other Batman thing that Lee Bermejo has done, honestly.
Yeah, again, more Bat Label books,
Yes. I used to be excited when Lee Bermejo came and did stuff for the Bat titles and everything.
Yeah, but it's just still the same stuff now.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a glut. So little that actually looks and feels like exciting anymore. Because again, it's just all the same. What if Batman was dark and gritty?
Yeah.
What if he was just dark and gritty? He'd probably look something like this, wouldn't he? That's my thing. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I guess someone must be reading it because they keep making them.
Oh no, I people keep reading them. I don't know why, but because they're almost always the same story.
Yeah, what if he was sad, What if it was darker and grittier and sadder than ever before?
I tell you what, though, that Batman Fortress book's pretty fucking good, though.
So I hear, yeah, you like that. I might have to check that out.
It's not a Batman book, it's a fucking Justice League book.
Oh, there you go. Which, they do a lot of that, too, where it's like, well, let's call it something different then.
Yeah, like Joker.
Yeah, like Joker. Let's just call it something different, even though it's not. Oh, yeah, as the chat's reminded me, too, they also went back to Long Halloween with Tim Sale to also do kind of a continuation spin-off thing with that. Wasn't that weird?
Yeah, I remember that, yeah. Holy shit.
I didn't read it because the animated movie had left such a bad taste in my mouth. I'm just like, leave fucking Long Halloween alone, please.
I remember we talked about when that was coming out, and I think, we were just pretty much the same. We're like, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
Also, hey, I'm hearing the thunder out my window, so if I suddenly just drop out for no reason, you'll know why.
Yeah, you got struck by lightning.
I do the show by a window if people couldn't tell, so that's why. That's what this thing is.
You're like holding a metal pipe out the window and just like raising it into the sky,
It's like, wow, Joel, he died? How did he die? Oh, he got electrocuted while doing a podcast. Really? I mean, was it like faulty wiring? No, he had a pipe that he stuck out a window during a lightning storm while he talked.
He kept baiting Zeus, It was weird.
Fuck you, you stupid swan transforming motherfucker. I dare you. I dare you. You Russell Crowe, chubby motherfucker. I don't fear death. Bring it. Bring it. Well, he died doing what he loved, and that's the important thing. We should all be so lucky. Another thing I love is talking about comics, because that's all the news this week. Should we talk about what came out this week?
Yeah, let's.
Oh, I guess, we should talk about the cover of the episode that you picked, but we got a better look at the Daredevil costume as well.
Yeah, and it's yellow.
It's Daredevil in yellow. I mean, we basically already knew it was going this way anyway, and yeah, it's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's not Daredevil, it's Demolition Man. That's got to be the big swerve. Everyone thinks it's Daredevil, but it's Demolition Man.
You said that, and I laughed for like a good 5 minutes.
Can you imagine? Like, that is something I could see a She-Hulk show doing. Yes. Everyone thinks, it's just going to be Daredevil, it's going to be Daredevil. It's fucking Demolition Man. And he's just shit.
Everyone would shit their pants and die if that was the case. But we would laugh and we would have a great time about it.
Yeah.
Oh, the chat's saying too, what about Chris Claremont? Yeah, Chris Claremont had like a full-on senior moment.
Yeah, he had a classic boomer moment. It was great.
Yeah, I think Chris Claremont has gone soft in the brain, everyone. Again, there's a whole thread about the rant he went on at a comic convention that he showed up late to his own panel, but I think we can all officially agree we can stop listening to him now.
Yeah, there's a reason why Marvel keep him in the basement.
Yeah.
I like that I like how he made it very clear that he's extremely jealous about what's going on with Krakoa at the moment, and that he didn't come up with it.
Very much so. Yeah, there is like cups and cups of haterade, jars and jars of salt, and just bad vibes all around him. Which, like, Jesus Christ, you're Chris fucking Claremont. What are you so upset about, man?
It's like, goddamn, why didn't I think of all of this amazing story?
I mean, just be happy that you made a lot of people happy with your work, and that you laid the foundation, and that your legacy was, until like a couple days ago, shored up and everything. Don't spend your last years just in like a shower of sour grapes and pissiness.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Oh yeah, he was also apparently pissed off about Miss Marvel implied to maybe be a mutant, which yeah, sounds like something a pissy old man would say.
Yeah, yeah.
He then finished his panel by telling all the kids to get off his lawn.
Yeah, in a southern like Cajun accent.
Yes. Yes, he then turned the sprinklers on and told everyone to get off his damn lawn or he'd call the police. But with that, everyone, we can actually talk about what we read this week.
Yeah.
Where would you like to begin, Matt?
Let's talk about Dark Crisis issue 3.
Yes, I read this one not that long ago. I liked this issue much more than the previous two.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually a little unsure and a little indifferent about Dark Crisis when it started. This one, kind of reeled me back in because it wasn't nearly as meta as the other two issues were.
It wasn't, and it started bringing all of the plots sort of together and
Indeed.
Balancing them out really well.
It did, even though there was plenty of stuff to poke fun of where it's like, oh, the Justice Society is here to help. Why didn't we ask them first? Yeah, why didn't you ask them first? Actually, why did you A, try doing it on your own, and B, then let Black Adam try and help you?
Look, Jeff Johns wouldn't let us,
I guess not. From wherever he is, they had to get the rights that he, has freaking in a death grip. But yeah, it was nice to see that. It was cool to see John stand up to Black Adam too. Where he's like, the problem with you millennials today is you're too soft and you don't kill people like I would.
Not only that, stand up to Black Adam and have Black Adam be slightly terrified of him.
Yes, it's cool because much like his dad, John doesn't fly off the handle all the time. So when he does, it's fucking serious.
Yeah.
I like that a whole lot. That was fun. I like Green Lanterns going on adventures there and also making reference to other Crisis events.
Yes, other events where Parallax and Brightest Day, Blackest Night.
Pariah going on that. Yeah, Pariah going on that so classic. You're not so different, you and I, Hal.
Yeah. Hey, how come you're allowed to bring back Coast City, but I can't bring back an entire multiverse?
Yeah, that was Parallax, and I didn't do it, and people were mad at me for over a decade about it. So much to the point they had to change it. Also, apparently Hal may have discovered the true secret of what the Great Darkness is after and how to stop it, but then he also gets trapped in one of those weird little dream worlds we've been seeing all over the place.
Yeah, so this issue made it very clear to... I'm sure you and I both already knew this, but many people assumed the Justice League were dead. Yeah, they're not. Obviously. They have been turned into weapons for the Great Darkness, and their bodies and life energy have been put in paradise worlds where they think they're alive and living out a perfect life and whatnot, but really their energy is being used to fuel whatever this crisis is going to be.
Yes, absolutely. Which that's a clever concept.
Yeah, means they can just come back because they're not technically dead.
Not technically dead. Also, Pariah thinks no, I'm controlling the Great Darkness. I'm making up for my great mistake. And Hal's like, no, you're not, dummy. This is always the way it works. You think you're controlling it, but it's controlling you.
Yeah, it's very obviously controlling him.
Very obviously controlling you, dummy. What's great, too, is that, Black Adam's finally okay, so I guess, the young heroes won't, they're not down with my murder plan, so I guess I'm going to go recruit the Legion of Doom to come and help me, which is actually a really unexpected twist.
It is, yeah, and it's a kind of a cool twist as well, because we're going back to the early days of the Scott Snyder Justice League run, where the Legion of Doom were trying to be the heroes of the Earth, because they knew Doom would only work against Perpetua and all that sort of stuff, and yeah, that's kind of cool.
I like that a lot. Actually, I got one comment that actually made me laugh, where they're like, oh, how could this Legion of Doom ever hope to defeat the AAA villains of the Secret Society? And I'm like, about that, in case
Prometheus,
you didn't notice.
the AAA villain Prometheus.
Yeah, in case you didn't notice, Joshua Williamson literally went out of his way to purposely stack the Secret Society with only cult deep-cut villains that only people like you and I would remember. Fucking Raptor is on there, for Christ's sake.
They mention it this issue where it's all these C and D list villains are starting to get more bold and everything thanks to what Slade's doing, and it's that's all his Secret Society is, just C and D list villains.
Yeah, cult villains, don't get me wrong, cult villains that people like you and I love and people like Joshua Williamson love, but definitely C and D listers, to where Damien even says, I think that was his plan all along, just throw C and D listers at us until we're too weak to fight back.
Yeah, they throw them into the meat grinder, yeah.
Yeah, and they're fearless because, they know we don't kill, so they're just going to keep coming at us.
Yeah.
Which is, not a bad idea.
I also like we see it all the time in comics where like the villain, like like the heroes know the villain isn't going to go too far, but then they have that story where they do, and they're kind of surprised. And I like that there's that unwritten rule where it's like a hero and villain fight. They know they're not going to like kill each other or do anything. They're just fighting and everything. And I always like it when it's referenced in the comics where like a villain goes too far, and Slade's like starting to he shoots Beast Boy in the head and everything, and it's like, oh, that's like a little bit too far.
That's too far. There's rules here. You're breaking the rule. That's why I love Venture Brothers so much, because it's a whole comedy about the stupid rules that heroes and villains live by.
Yeah.
And that it's all just like a bunch of like friggin' office bullshit. Like, oh, have you put in form 37? If you're gonna maim a hero this badly, you have to put in a form, but you have to tell us before you do it. You just can't do it.
Yeah.
And the Great Darkness is like, no, fuck your rules, fuck your everything. This is what we do now. Also, Slade now knows how to start another crisis, then it involves barfing all over people.
Yeah, giving everyone like the black goo.
The goo. We gotta spread the goo.
Yeah, the secret of the ooze.
Yeah, that's what this is really all about. That's what they were gonna call this. They were gonna call this the Ooze Crisis, but they thought, Dark Crisis sounds better. Also, hey, because we got the Justice Society and we got the Titans and Young Justice and basically every team from every era, how long until the Legion of Superheroes show up?
I'm pretty sure they're still fighting the Great Darkness in their little book at the moment, yeah.
Right, because these books are still connected, and I'm like, well, the Great Darkness is a Legion threat, so, when are they gonna, get involved?
I'm sure it's coming, yeah.
I guess so.
I wonder if they're going to bring back the Young Justice as well from whatever the fuck they're up to and wherever the fuck they are.
Yeah, in their dream world that's not really a dream world.
Yeah, that's kind of like a really racist, homophobic look at the 90s.
Yeah, they got the defective dream world is what they got. Is the chat saying, yeah, they mentioned Leanne Harper. Yeah, I fucking forgot that Williamson brought Leanne Harper back and then no other writer bothered to do anything about it because Green Arrow never got another series.
Well, I think that was it was all built up in the Secret Files for Infinite Frontier where Roy came back to life as the Black Lantern and then came back to life properly, and he learnt that his daughter was still alive and he's still trying to find out where she is.
Alive and in the Catwoman book, at least in the last run. I don't know if whoever took over the book is still writing about her.
Yeah.
So there's the thing. Yeah, watch any 80s horror movie. That's how they infect people. Yeah, with the goo.
Yeah, they just spit it into your face, yeah.
The goo, the stuff, the thing, all the buzz. That's how they do it. But yeah, so that one was actually pretty good. I liked that Dark Crisis. I was actually into that one, which is good because I was getting really worried 3 issues in. I'm like, oh my god, do I not like this series? I don't want to not like a big crisis moving forward, but I feel like I might not.
Yeah.
So there's something. What else you want to talk about, Matt?
Let's talk about Batman.
Yes, exactly. Batman 126, the continuation of the Chip Zdarsky story. In the last issue, Penguin had killed himself with a cyanide capsule and framed Batman for it.
Yeah, and because of it, failsafe activated, which, just going off its name and what it is just a contingency plan against Batman.
Some sort of killer robot that I can only assume Batman built to kill him if he ever went too far and started killing supervillains.
Yeah, and he doesn't remember it because he had it mind wiped from his own mind, because knowing your own contingency plan is it's pretty bad. Yeah.
It's bad for business, which I like that thing about it where he's like, yeah, I know my mind has been tampered with. I know my own mind. And the fact that I don't remember this thing, but it's familiar, means that I probably built it, and that's pretty fucked up. Overall, this issue was actually a really great focus piece for the sidekicks. It's Batman kind of needing to rely on people.
Yeah, he figures he can't fight this robot, which has a mesotech in it, on his own, because it just catches him off guard and it knows all his moves and everything. It just ruins his day.
I liked this one too because that first issue I'm like, okay, so Zdarsky's going back
to the Miller well. It's going to be more of, Batman as a dark lone crusader, with internal monologues. And this issue completely turns that on its head.
Yeah. He keeps trying to do it, but realizes that he can't.
Yeah, there's a great bit there where Batman's like, maybe I am projecting on my sidekicks, maybe I will forever be haunted by my dead parents, dead butler, dead marriage, but I still, love my kids and sidekicks for, trying to have normal lives and balance their passions with also trying to be superheroes. And I'm like, oh, that's nice, Batman in his private moments.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Maybe say that to them next time, Bruce. I bet they'd like to hear it.
No, they can't hear it. There's too much.
I'm a big softie in my internal monologues, but they must never know. But yeah, the idea being that if Batman can't trust his own mind, he needs to pull out, ironically, yet another contingency for a situation like this, and he needs to once again become the Batman of Zur-En-Arrh.
Yeah, this is where the book hooked me. I'm like, okay, Zdarsky, you got me.
It's a big dick move is what it is. You just don't bring out the Batman of Zur-En-Arrh like 2 decades later if you don't have an idea behind it.
Exactly. And I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not? This is like Zdarsky being like, look, whatever you thought this book was, it isn't.
Yeah, this is gonna be crazy.
This is my own thing. Also, what a fucking great time for fucking Grant Morrison ideas, because you got Rom V bringing back Barbatos in Detective Comics, then here they're bringing back Zur-En-Arrh. I guess comic time really is circular. It's like, it's been about 20 years. I guess we can start doing Black Case File shit again.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, what else are they going to bring back from the goddamn Morrison years? The Ghosts of Batman, remember them?
Yeah.
Where they were like cops brainwashed and shit.
Yep.
Dr. Hurt. We haven't seen Dr. Hurt in a bit.
Yeah, well, and he's tied with Batman's the Batman of Zur-En-Arrh, so yeah.
Indeed he is, so that could be something
they should just be like, fuck it, we're just gonna bring back the original Zur-En-Arrh, who's like that alien inspired by Batman.
Man, if any writer could get away with it, it's Zdarsky. He's like, my problem with Batman nowadays is he doesn't deal with enough aliens.
Yeah.
I'm going to fix that. There's going to be 90% more aliens in this story, you mark my words.
And one of them's going to be dressed like Batman.
Because why the fuck not? We're also going to bring back Zebra Batman, too. Going to bring them all back. But yeah, that was good. I like that one. Another big story that came out this week was Immortal X-Men, issue number 5. This is the first of what will be very many Judgment Day tie-ins brought to us by Kieran Gillen. I think he's writing like 18 tie-ins.
Yeah, he's writing a fucking shitload of them.
Yeah,
I like that it's him writing them as well, because he's going from, he's basically just continuing his Eternals book, basically.
He really is. He really, really is. And this was an easy layup because he was writing this book anyway. Yeah. And he had already planted the seeds of the X-Men because of Destiny. They know they're going to be invaded by Eternals, so they're trying to get ready. And it's really just kind of a backdrop to learn more about Bennett DePolly.
Yeah, more about Exodus and what he's been up to in his 1,000-year sleep, which maybe wasn't always him sleeping.
Yeah, they do some light retconning here. It's so funny to me that when they brought Exodus into this book and they're like, oh, he's going to be on the council and everything, I'm like, ha, Hickman, you comedian, bringing back a totally lame 90s X-Men villain from the story Blood Ties and giving him this big important job. I bet he's just going to be there as a joke. And he basically was until right now.
Now.
Yeah, when Kieran Gillen's like, you know what, I'm going to write the first story about this guy.
Yeah, that's so cool. I wonder if that was like a thing. Like, it's like, can we earmark this character and not do anything with him until like my big event?
Absolutely. And, you know, they don't really do much to like clean up his story where it's like, yeah, he's a religious fundamentalist. He's a dickhead. He was a Templar who, you know, kind of lost faith in human God. And he's been looking for the mutant messiah ever since. And, you know, he thought... that it was Apocalypse, and it wasn't, and then he thought it was Magneto, and now he thinks it's Hope, which explains why he's been acting so weird with Hope the entire time that she's been on the council, because he thinks that she's fucking Jesus.
Yeah, I've been catching up on, because I was an issue and a half behind, and I like his like infatuation with Hope now. It's like, yeah, you're new Jesus now.
Which is funny, because I'm like, oh my god, is he like trying to bang her? Is that why he's so
it feels like that, eh?
at first, and then it's like, oh no, he just thinks she's Jesus, and that she's gonna give his life meaning and purpose. Oh my God, it's almost worse than him wanting to bang her. Tell me I'm good, Hope. Just tell me I'm good. And then I'm gonna go to heaven when I die, when I die. They're also tying his connection in with the Phoenix Force, which makes me wonder, is he going to get the Phoenix Force by the end of this?
I mean, we see him with it in one of Destiny's 5 Futures in The Expanse. He's the only mutant left. Him and Mr. Sinister are the only mutants left, and he has the Phoenix Force.
Yeah. Are they, like, setting that up now, where it's, again, at the end of this story, he'll actually get the Phoenix Force?
Yeah.
And then maybe he'll be like, I spent all this time looking for Jesus, but Jesus was me all along.
Jesus was a giant flaming alien bird creature.
Yeah, but you're gonna go to Sunday school now, huh? Do it or I'll kill you. Which is generally his way of handling everything. Do it or else. I'm that Old Testament religion. Also, I wonder how Kirk feels about that, because Exodus is all like, oh, I'm going to be the rock of the new mutant religion, because the X gene is just a cross on its side. And somewhere Kirk's over there like, actually, dude, I'm trying to, like, make a new thing, like, no creator gods, just the pursuit of enlightenment and the spark. You're kind of fucking up my stuff here.
Oh, maybe Kurt didn't, like, take him, like, seriously. It's like, yeah, it's fucking Exodus. I am intrigued to see how they're going to play with Kurt against what the Eternals are doing, which is they're literally trying to make their own god again.
God, yeah, exactly. How's a dude like this gonna? I mean, he basically did make their own god in the Spark, or at least just kind of like reconstituted it as like a system of faith. I know the X Legion book is gonna have a tie-in to this, and I hope they cover that in the tie-in. I know there was a new issue that came out this week. It wasn't a tie-in, but I didn't read that one yet.
Yeah, well, while we're talking about that, we'll talk about X-Men Red as well, because that was a tie-in as well.
Oh, yes, that was, yes. Tell me all about that one.
This is just basically what happened to Mars during Uranus's 1 hour on Mars.
When he glassed the whole fucking place.
Yeah, and we find it only took him 20 minutes to kill everyone on the planet, and he still had 40 minutes left to just kind of, like, fuck around.
just to vibe with it.
Yeah, but that's basically all the book is. He, like, turns up, the mutants are like, holy fuck, like, we'll fucking take this guy down, we're mutants, we're fucking better than everyone else, and he just obliterates fucking everyone, rips out Magneto's heart, he fucking like burns Cable to death, kills Abigail Brand with like her own gun. And yeah, it was just all this like brutal shit. And we find not everyone died. We find what's his name? His name's like Londo. He's one of the council members.
Right.
He ends up surviving because that weird eye creature.
Arbitrix.
Yeah, kind of hid him in like the fucking dead bodies of everyone else. Because we see him. We see Uranus like he like kills everyone and like puts their skulls and bodies and shit in the shape of a giant X on the planet.
Sounds about right.
Before he disappears, and he ends up surviving, and we find out that Magneto is somehow alive with like a strange thing in the hole where his heart should have been. It's almost like he's being controlled, which is really strange because he's alive there, but then he gets reborn. But I'm trying to figure out how he's going to be reborn, because in the issue before the tie-ins, Magneto revealed that he and Storm no longer have any backups because they want to adapt to Arakko Way, and that means getting rid of the resurrection protocol for them and being of Arakko. So I don't know exactly how that's happened, because technically Storm and Magneto should actually be dead, like properly dead.
Maybe they didn't get a chance to do it yet.
No, they destroyed it right there in the issue because they had him on like a little device, because they offered this it's like a portable version of the resurrection protocols that the Cerebro has. They offered it to Arakko, and then they weren't actually going to offer it. They were just going to show it to him, and then they destroyed it and said, we don't accept this because we're now of Arakko.
Well, shit. Yeah, I don't know about that. Well, they got 18 other tie-ins to explain it somewhere.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what that is, because that was like a Chekhov's gun. It's like, you don't introduce that until unless you're gonna like use it. Not gonna use it. Yeah.
Most definitely. Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
That sounds good. What else was this week? Okay, was the variance this week? Yeah, the variance was this week, wasn't it?
I'm not reading that book, so I don't know.
It says 5 days ago, but we didn't do the podcast. I don't think it was this week. It was good. Gail Simone, fun stuff. Jessica Jones has a book. Read it.
Yeah. Yeah. She's like teaming up with like variants of herself and stuff.
She's not teaming up. They're fighting each other. Actually.
Oh, cool. Oh, cool.
Because Jess is so self-hating. Her multiversal selves don't even trust each other. They're like, you're here, you must be here trying to kill me. But it's actually a little bit more interesting than that, because once again, they tie it into the Purple Man, where Jess meets one of his other victims, who apparently on the anniversary of when, Purple Man first went into her mind, went crazy and murdered her entire family.
Oh, good.
And Jess's anniversary is coming up.
Oh, no.
So she fears that she might try and murder her own family, and then on top of this, all these multiversal versions of herself keep showing up. So she's thinking, like, are these actually multiversal versions of myself, or is this just part of Purple Man fucking with me?
Are they real or are they illusions? Yeah.
In this issue, we find out they are indeed real because Matt Murdock and Luke Cage actually touch them.
Nice.
So they are real.
Cool.
For now, at least. But yeah, it's Gail Simone. It's darkly funny. It's good shit. I guess the only other real big book I read this week, because I guess I didn't read near as many books as I thought I did. I read that Batman White Knight presents Red Hood.
Oh, I haven't read that one yet.
It's very fun. This is probably one of the best versions of Jason Todd I've read in anything.
I was kind of hoping it was going to be pretty decent, because the books all related to this universe have been amazing.
Yes, much like they did with Harley and much like they did with Batgirl, they do an excellent job at having Jason recapture a lot of his own agency in his story.
Excellent.
Because Joker didn't kill him in this universe, remember?
No.
But he lets him go because under torture, Jason does reveal Bruce's identity, and Joker's like, I'm not going to kill you because, betrayal cuts deeper than any knife, and you'll live with the fact knowing that you betrayed Batman, which is why Jason never returned home, why he left and kind of rode the rails for years. Because he was too ashamed to go back and see Batman again. He says, he went to the army, he worked as a mercenary. He says he worked as a professional wrestler for a bit. That makes me laugh. But he couldn't keep doing it because he said he was too much of a shooter, whatever that means. And obviously, as a wrestling fan, I know shooting means you hurt someone for real in a match when you weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
Which is such a Jason thing to do. And we flash back and we see his attempt to actually find a sidekick of his own.
Okay.
He doesn't want to do it. A girl dressed as Robin just accosts him one day in an alley when he's beating up thugs for booze money. Because that's how far Jason has fallen now. He only fights crime for booze money. And this girl's like super impressed with him and says like, no, you could teach me, you could teach me like Batman taught you. And at first he's like, fuck off, get away from me. And then he's like, no, wait a minute. If I teach this girl to be a better Robin than I was, then I can stick it to Batman and show that I'm a better friend and mentor. And I'm like, wow, what a great way to write a version of Jason that is like sad and pathetic, but also not like an edgy teenager.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and this girl, her name is Gan. She's Mongolian, actually.
Ooh.
She's, like, getting cats out of trees and helping old ladies across the street and basically doing all the stuff Batman doesn't do.
Oh, nice. Well, it just kind of makes sense if she's going to be a Robin. Because that's what Robin has to do, the stuff Batman doesn't do.
Yes, and she's already doing it, and she lives in Backport, which is, of course, the city from the other White Knight book that we know is historically forgotten by Batman, and, there's a lot of racial tension there. And again, Murphy kind of does this interesting job being like, oh, so this is like, that positive peace versus negative peace thing. Batman's too busy doing the big stuff, fighting colorful supervillains, that he doesn't do, like, the smaller stuff to stop crime on, like, a grassroots level, but this girl is already doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, I like that a lot. And Shriek is the villain. Shriek from friggin' Batman Beyond.
Oh, cool.
He's a club owner in this universe, and his club looks like a giant boombox, and everyone's certain that it's a giant fucking sound weapon. Because why wouldn't it be?
Of course.
But yeah, so it's good stuff. God damn it, Sean Gordon Murphy, you did it again. You did it again. I swear with one of these, it's like, now these are going to get, like, Black Label. These are going to be too annoying at some point. No, they're not.
Yeah. Holy.
Also,
that's good.
Also, too, Jason isn't Red Hood yet in this thing. He has not taken that name, so this story will explain how he gets that way, because as we already know from the other books, Joker Jack Napier in this world was not the Red Hood.
No.
Meaning that Jason probably comes by it a completely different way, which I'm like, okay, I want to see how that goes.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Cool.
I like it. What else did you have? I think that was everything I read this week. Christ, I thought I read more than I did.
Yeah, I got a couple more books.
All right, go for it.
I had a Flashpoint Beyond issue 4.
I was going to read that one next, but I ran out of time before we started.
It's all right. It kind of comes out of nowhere. We don't follow up on that, frankly, more interesting story of the Kryptonian invasion.
Yeah, I'm glad we agree that that's more interesting.
Yeah.
Thomas is annoying the shit out of me in this book because he doesn't care about anyone or anything.
Yeah.
He's just grousing and not being fun to read. But then you get that issue with Superman and everyone else, and they're like, no, we actually do care. We know the Flashpoint universe is fucked up, but we're trying our hardest to save it and be heroes. You used to know that, Thomas.
Yeah. This issue just goes. It remembers that the core story of this book was the Clockwork Killer, which has barely any build up or anything at all. But here we get the big reveal of who the Clockwork Killer is. Thomas is like still investigating the killer. Eobard Thorne was its most recent victim, found in the apartment of Iris West. Finds more cogs and like clockwork gears and shit in him. He begins piecing them together as Dexter Dent escapes Thomas's manor and takes a bunch of his gear and basically dresses up as Robin and goes to try and free his mother from Arkham. Gilda Dent is now, she's Two-Face now.
Yes, of course she
gone
is.
Fucking insane.
She shredded her own face.
Yeah. But they do an interesting thing where, like, you know how like a Two-Face usually has like two voices?
Yes.
The voice that she hears isn't the other side of her, it's someone else.
Oh.
And we learn who that...
Psycho Pirate?
No, Psycho Pirate's dead.
Yes, he killed himself.
Yeah, so he puts together the clock and he figures out that the clock, the numbering on it is the exact same as the one from inside the manor that hides the cave. Like that clock that hides the cave behind it, which means he knows who the killer is, and the killer is the Martha Wayne Joker.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, just fucking out of nowhere. And she is also the one who has been talking with Gilda in her head.
Oh,
and yeah,
she can do that.
And she turns up in Arkham Asylum to like free Gilda or kill her or something.
Well, wasn't she already there? Was the thing, because doesn't he pass her cell and keep walking?
Yeah. I don't fucking know.
Jeff Johns is phoning that shit in.
Yeah, and then of course we get like the vignette with like Bruce, and something happens with the snow globe that he took with Jenny Slater's watch, and it unleashes something that Corky calls blue shift energy, which is when temporal energy comes in contact with hypertime, and it creates an energy that is the most powerful energy in the divine continuum. And the book just ends with it like exploding over Batman. Yeah.
Yes, I forgot this book was also about Jeff Johns trying to get over the divine continuum at a time when another writer is doing a crisis. So it's like, which am I supposed to pay attention to?
They mentioned the Great Darkness in this, where it's like
they did it last week too, where the Time Masters are like, oh, we gotta get to Thomas Wayne, but soon, not so soon because because everything could change because there's a crisis going on right now.
Yeah. So it just kind of came out of nowhere. They probably didn't need to do the whole clockwork, like, I don't give a fuck about that story. The more interesting story is everything that's happening outside, because we keep seeing those radio reports and news reports of the Task Force X on this universe is made up of hundreds and hundreds of dangerous metahumans, and they're now fighting Wonder Woman in Germany, and
the amount of set dressing in this book is insane to me, because it's like, is Jeff Johns just doing this to make it seem like Watchmen, which to make it seem like Doomsday Clock?
Yeah, kind of feels like it. Because, everything else is more interesting. Like, that Kryptonian invasion stuff with that Superman and him having to probably fight his own father and all that sort of stuff. That's more interesting than Thomas Wayne trying to figure out why his wife is now killing people.
Yes, and taking multiple steps back in his, character journey.
Yeah, it's weird.
For seemingly no other reason than Jeff Johns just wanted to write his version of Thomas Wayne and no one else.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit it's better than what fucking Tom King was doing with the character.
I mean,
but
yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
Yeah.
All right, what else do we got? I mean, was that it for this week? Was that everything? It feels like this show went quick.
I got 2 more books.
Okay, cool. Let's lightning round these bad boys right quick.
The new Shazam book.
Oh yeah, the Mary Marvel. I bought that, but I didn't get to read it yet. It looks good. It looks like she's talking to a bunny.
Yeah, she's talking to a bunny. She decides because this is following on the events of what happened in Titans Academy. So Billy Batson is trapped in the Rock of Eternity, and none of the family have their powers. So Mary decides to move on with her life, and she decides to go off to college in New York, away from Philadelphia, where she can try and find out who she is as a person, away from the family and Philadelphia and superheroism. And it's here where she finds out that she's kind of like a fish out of water, in that a lot of the people she's talking with, like the 2 roommates she talks with, are like already friends and they've already done so much with their lives. Well, Mary really hasn't left Philadelphia at all.
Yeah, which is kind of what they implied in the movie, didn't they?
Yeah. And then, she talks with Hoppy, who is one of her roommates' bunnies, who gets imbued with magic from Billy to send her a message to say that she has to be the new champion of Shazam.
And Hoppy's an old character, right? Like Mr. Tawny?
I don't think so.
I think of a completely different Super Rabbit. I want to say there was a completely different Super Rabbit.
I think there's a completely different Super Rabbit. Maybe with the same name.
Maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, she doesn't want to have any bar of this, so the rabbit makes her like kind of forces her to do it by teleporting her back to Philadelphia, where she has to fight a guy called Disaster Master, who's like this guy who's like trying to break into like a bank because he thinks he's owed money, and he's got this weird blue thing on his chest, so she has to call on the power of Shazam and beat him and save some people. And yeah, she ends up having to take on the mantle of Shazam unwillingly, but then she returns back to her college only to find the police there, and they tell her that Victor and Rosa have been kidnapped, or like they've gone missing. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like that the writer J.C. Campbell was able to capture like the cringe of like being like someone you're not, and like trying to impress new people and all that sort of stuff. Like I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, this is like one of her first comics. Like she came from like writing the DC animation, and this is like her first series.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a real fucking baptism by fire. Hey, write this cult character, which everyone is gonna have you under a fucking microscope because everyone has many different thoughts about Mary Marvel.
Yeah, it was fun, and it had art by Doc Shanna, so it just
that's
great.
Always good.
Yeah,
it looked really good. That's what got me to her. I'm like, man, this cover looks great.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Functorial talking about the Sandman show. No, I have not had a free minute to watch the Sandman show yet.
No.
It looks good, and it's getting fairly decent reviews.
Yes, yeah.
And a lot of people asking the same question where it's like, okay, so this season did good. If they keep going, what will they eventually do when they eventually get to the DC superhero stuff? What are they going to do? Are they going to get TV's Constantine back? Are they going to get Keanu Reeves back just to fuck with us? Where are they going to go with that? Can they use Batman, Superman, whatever, if those are technically Warner Brothers properties, or would they need to create new versions of heroes for this?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, Netflix could just cancel it because, it's Netflix.
It's Netflix. Oh, did you like that? It's dead.
Yeah, too expensive. We need the money for Stranger Things 10.
Yeah, Stranger Things 10. Man, I swear I liked Stranger Things when it started, but the longer it goes on, where it's just like, are you trying to make me not like this? I've not watched Stranger Things since season 2, honestly. I thought the first season, that was super fun. Then season 2 was less good. And I'm like, sometimes these just need to be one.
Yeah, it's the same thing over, dude, 80s. 80s is cool. 80s.
Nor have I watched Paper Girls yet, which is funny. So many people are like, oh, Paper Girls is a Stranger Things ripoff. Motherfuckers, Paper Girls came first.
It came first, yeah.
If anything, Stranger Things ripped it off. Which was the first thing I said when I watched Stranger Things. Oh, wow, these guys must really like Paper Girls. because this is a lot like that. But now I digress. No, I haven't watched Prey yet either, but everyone says it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, watch it. It's so great.
I want to be in a better, less stressed mood when I sit down and watch it. I want to actually be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
I'm in one of those places there where, like, I'll start stuff and be like, I can't. You know, I know I'm not giving this my full mind.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be able to lean in, not lean back.
Yeah. You're part of that demographic in the HBO presentation. Yeah, you got to lean forward. You need an appointment to watch it.
Yes.
You know,
it's got to have appointment viewing. Got to lean forward, not lean back. Many more soulless corporate speaks. The fandom and the genre doms. Completely different, but who's the genre sub is what I want to know. That's all I would like to know. And what was the last book you had this week, Matt, seeing as we're making good time?
The last book I had was Al Ewing's new Ant-Man book.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I saw that and I almost got it, but it's like it's a flashback series, isn't it? It's not like Ant-Man now. It's like Ant-Man back when.
Kinda.
Right.
There is a premise to that. So it's a very meta premise in which we're introduced to someone in the year 2549. It's like some scientist who's like working on like something Ant-Man related, and he activates something called the Marvel experience, which is a very meta thing which tells the guy and us, the reader, to prepare for like cliffhangers and prepare for a story from the past and everything. And we end up going back to the 60s to a story in between Tales to Astonish, like one of the first places where Ant-Man appeared. It's a story between one of his first appearances, and it's set up exactly like a comic back then would be. It's extremely simple. Hank and Janet are out at the movies, and kids are fucking around with them, so Ant-Man decides to like put ants in the popcorn and all that sort of stuff, and then he gets caught by the antagonists, who are all individually previous villains he fought in various different Tales of Astonished books. So like one of them's like a guy who has like a spray bottle that's like got an alien parasitic in it that like paralyzes people, you know, stupid shit like that. And he has to end up fighting them, and then Janet helps him out, and like they free each other, and they were planning on turning Hank old with like an old people ray, which like turns him into an old man. And he,
like he is now.
Yeah, and all while this is happening, every now and then he sees like this guy, who's the guy from the future, just like appear and like scan his ants and then disappear. And he's like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, whatever, I'm dealing with the antagonists. And then near the end of the book, we see that guy again, and he ends up taking Hank into the far future, and we learn that this guy, we still don't know his name, but he is the Ant-Man of the year 2549. And he needs Hank's help in defeating an enemy in the future who comes from the past.
Huh.
And then then the book ends with like, oh, you've just experienced the Marvel experience cliffhanger. You know, come back next issue.
That sounds very much like a journey into mystery, is what that sounds like.
So, and I think the next issue they're going to be jumping forward to like when I think either Scott or Eric is the Ant-Man.
Oh.
And they're like kind of dropping them into stories that have already happened.
Interesting. Wow, that is a big Al Ewing, big brain concept.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's really fun. It's fun.
Yeah. All right, I might have to check that out. I do have a soft spot for Ant-Man and the Ant-Men in general. It's just an interesting little legacy.
Yeah, and it's nice to have Hank Pym come back as Ant-Man.
Yeah,
because he's still technically dead.
I guess he still is, isn't he?
Oh, well, technically dead and like half Ultron.
Still Pymtron. Yeah, wow, they have had so many options to undo that, and they haven't.
Yeah.
I guess because just no one fucking cares about Hank Pym.
Everyone's on the Scott Lang train now.
Yeah, because he's in the movie, so, you know, he's the main guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's on the Disney cruise. I watch those behind the scenes and everything there, and you can go to the special Ant-Man dinner and what you get at the Ant-Man dinner.
It's all small. It's all really big.
Oh, really big, yeah. And you got, like, you know, a thing of unstable Pym particles at the table that changes color, and if you get the expensive drink, you get to drink it out of a Pym particle canister. And I'm like, that's stupid. I want to do that. It's like I can talk mad shit, but in the back of my head, it's like you would fucking drop everything to go do that if you could.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like that Star Wars drink that's like $5,000, but you get it delivered in a Camtono, and it opens and there's like ice and shit. And
also, apparently, you get like on top of that, you also get a trip to Skywalker Ranch and a bottle of Skywalker Ranch wine.
Exactly.
Which, wow, leave it to Lucas to work a background deal for that for himself, right? Do I get to go and drink wine? Then it's just like, and what do you think about that, huh? Really brings all the flavors together, doesn't it? Now, were you sure to swirl it and give it a smell and everything? Yeah, it's my wine. I made it.
Does he retroactively change the wine to like...
As
like
you're drinking it.
Yeah, fit. Like, oh, it's not what I wanted. Not what I wanted.
Now, as you'll notice, I've changed it. I know I've made some small improvements, that I think are much better. Really helps the wine flow. Yeah. Am I doing George Lucas or am I doing Owen Wilson at this point? Wow.
Yeah, they're the same thing. they're a couple of octaves difference.
Wait until you learn that I only have a couple voices. I keep trying to find a situation where I can pull out my Mike Lindell voice. Hello, I'm Mr. Pillows. I used to smoke crack, but now I don't.
You
I'm
should just do your videos in that voice. That'd be quite different.
Man, come April Fool's Day, I should do that. It's a regular video, but I just do stupid voices.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to do that next April, everyone. You wait and see. All right, everyone. I guess we can start winding the show down now. That was fun. We'll be sure to be back again next week with more good stuff. We'll have more Judgment Day to cover next week.
Yeah, probably more fucking WB massacres or whatever the fuck's going on over there.
No doubt. Go check out my Harley reviews, everyone. I'm really happy with how those turned out, and they're really popular on the channel. So go check them out.
Nice.
You got anything to promote there, Matt?
Not really. Catching up on some comic reviews. I do have some stuff, but it's kind of like moved to the back burner at the moment because work's quite busy at the moment. But
I hear ya.
Yeah, no. Keep an eye out for some cool reviews coming out.
Alrighty then. Well, we'll say goodbye to you, everyone. Bye-bye.
See ya.